I forget. Hey everyone, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the second arc in the One Piece series. The second arc runs from chapter 8 to chapter 21 in the manga series, and it is nicknamed, or maybe officially named, the Orange Town arc. Now, if you are new to my channel, a warm welcome to you. I really love talking about books and reading on this channel, and I am currently talking about the manga One Piece. If you like the vibe and you would like to subscribe, I would encourage you to do so. Without any further rambling on, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. In a similar vein to the Odyssey by Homer, we are getting this adventure in sort of episodes. They're also called story arcs, but this very beginning, we're getting very much the sense of the Odyssey or Odysseus's journey, in that they come up, they're at sea. Odysseus was also at sea. They're at sea, and they, as in Luffy and Zoro, are at sea, and they are being taken to different areas in their world, and not only finding a nemesis there, but discovering a little bit more about their trade as pirates and a little bit more about themselves as you go along. And so I really can identify with that story style, very episodic in a way, and I really am enjoying that. So in Orange Town, we meet a couple of really interesting characters. And one of my things that I'm finding that gets me so excited are new characters. So I'm gonna scoot to the side. I'm gonna scoot to the side. We're gonna talk about some characters here. I love character designs. I have a passion for character designs, and I think Oda does as well, because we're just seeing super cool characters coming up. Oda once again uses this technique of introducing a nemesis, a bad guy, a darker character, and he introduces them through their words, and he doesn't give them a full panel yet. You first meet them and you see like the side of the face. And the person I'm talking about is our main bad guy of this arc, which is Buggy, or I feel, because I said Luffy instead of Luffy, I feel like it's Buggy instead of Buggy the clown. But I think I'm just gonna call him the clown. And the Buggy is that Oda in some of his notes mentioned that he did originally call him Buggy, so I wonder if he just changed the spelling, but we're pronouncing it the same. Some of you have been so sweet in encouraging me to watch the anime series of One Piece so I can get the hang of some names. I just watch so little television. I haven't watched television in earnest in quite some time now, and so it's just not my forte of what I like to do in my free time, and so it's not the most natural thing for me to go to the television show, but I may still do that just to get the names under my belt. I don't know. I'm not sure. The jury's still out on that. And I've also done quite a bit of research about copyright and what I can put on the screen. And since I am a librarian by trade and education, I do have some knowledge about when it's fair use and when it is not. So thank you all for your concerns, and I am looking into I'm keeping myself up to date as to what I can and cannot use. What I can and cannot use. So we're gonna just go with Buggy. No, we're going with the clown. So we have the clown, and his costume is amazing. It is amazing. I want to dress up as the clown for Halloween. I want to create a costume tomorrow because it is so cool. There is this cape that is big and luxurious, and he's got his a true pirate's cap on, but then his face is painted like an evil clown, and he's got a clown nose, which he is very insecure about. Then we have the striped shirt and the matching striped socks, and the, I guess what you would think of as sort of normal or, you know, the typical like super baggy pirate pants and these amazing pointed shoes. I love the character design. I was like, my heart was double beating at this character design. I just loved it so much. And immediately you really get a sense at Oda's playfulness, or at least I did, because in the background are his first and second mates, or two of the clown's cronies, and they're also in these like really creative and fantastic costumes. So you have one that looks like what I thought was like a baby bear, but it's probably a cub, like some sort of lion, young cub, young lioness, a little baby lion type animal, and he's wearing like this half shirt that looks like there's some texture on it, and he says that the headpiece is not a mask but it's his real hair, I believe, in one of the panels, that our lion tamer person said that about himself. And then you have like this acrobat, I think, and I'll get to them in just a moment. The two characters in the background, the like right and left hand man of our clown, are really well designed, and then they do eventually get their own like character panels where we're officially introduced to them. And just seeing this panel made my heart double beat as somebody who loves fashion and creativity, as like fashion as self-expression, and that I really enjoy looking at that kind of thing. But I love picture books and character designs in picture books, and this clown is amazing. Oh yes, so then we get the first mate, and it is Moji the lion tamer, and he is pretty awesome looking. And he's got this massive lion, and I think one of my favorite scenes in this arc, one of them, I'll talk about like my actual favorite scenes later on, but one of my favorite scenes is when the lion and the little dog, the dog who is staying close to his owner's store, when they have their showdown, because that little dog just has so much passion in him. And it reminded me a little bit of like a David and Goliath trope, the little dog being David and fighting for something that he believes in and that he's like connected to, and then the lion who is the it's like he is the weapon of Moji the lion tamer. The next character that we get officially introduced to is Boodle, the mayor of Port Town. And immediately what stood out is this armor that covers his shoulders and forearms and chest, but nothing else. And I thought that Boodle gave me the most food for thought, or at least one of the two scenes that were a part of my food for thought for this arc. And again, I'll get to that when I talk about some of my favorite moments. Other standout things about Boodle is this incredible hair. It almost feels like a throw to the 80s, but different, like it works in this world. So I just really liked the hair, and then the little spectacles that sit on, high up on his nose. I liked that as well as like a character detail. We also meet Kabaji, the acrobat, who also gets this panel, and he's sitting on a unicycle, which is classic, and he's got this checkered scarf and the pointed shoes. I'm really seeing that these pointed boots Oda really likes to put on characters. I think I've seen it on a couple or several different characters now. So it's a detail that lives and sort of ties this world together, is like the shoes. And he's just fantastically designed. Again, I almost want to dress up as this acrobat for Halloween, as just like an eclectic costume and a wink wink nudge nudge to One Piece. So we're in Port Town, and a character that I don't know actually, I'd have to go back and check, but doesn't get her own half page. She may have, maybe in an earlier chapter, and I forgot to like capture it. But we meet Nami, and she is a thief. And I like that we meet her, and she's very much a trickster. And there's a big, huge surprise, at least to me, because you find out, you know, she doesn't like pirates. And so as you know, there's this tension between Luffy and her because she's a great navigator of the seas. Luffy needs a navigator for on his team, and she is resistant. Now, actually, that's something that is similar to Zoro. He was resistant to join Luffy's team, and now that he's fully joined the crew, you know, Nami's there, and now Nami's holding that position of being very resistant to join Luffy's team, and he has to convince her in this very he has to convince her in his own way. He has to do some convincing. I mean, if somebody was like, I want you to be on my team, I would probably be like, sure, you know. But Nami's like, and she has a big grudge against pirates, and that's not revealed. And so I'm wondering if that is one of the emotionally devastating moments that we're going to get later on, because she really despises pirates, and she alludes to the fact that pirates have taken something important from her. And so I wonder what that backstory is. Please don't spoil anything. I pray of you, please don't spoil anything. And so many of you are so kind, and someone even says, we're going to protect me from spoilers. I thought that was really sweet. So we meet Nami, and I love that she's this multifaceted character that is a thief and doesn't want to be a pirate and is a navigator and has her own agenda. And also in this arc, we see Zoro and Luffy really bond, and they really are they're fighting for each other. And I thought that was really sweet, and I'm finding myself really enjoying watching the friendships bloom. And I'm sure that since at the end of the arc, Nami joins the team, that we're going to see them stick up for each other in certain moments. And so I just love that it's like so funny, because it's like they have their own internal pride or goals, like the things that are really important to each individual character. Luffy wants to be the pirate king and get the treasure, and Zoro wants to be this amazing swordsman, and Nami is super proud of her thieving skills. And they all have these things that they carry with them that individually they find very important, and then even when they're out in the world and they're fighting like the clown and his cronies, they are bonding and having each other's back during these certain moments. So one of the funniest moments in the stories was Luffy like biting the jail bars, like I couldn't, like, it was so funny. Those panels really got me. But he's like, he's trying to like bite his way out of these jail bars, and it was just absolutely hilarious. That really got me. Or the second thing, the really funny thing was like, Zoro was fighting the clown, and as they're, you know, fighting off and really in the thick of their battle, the cronies, the first and second mates, are laying on the ground pretending to be knocked out so that they don't get involved anymore. And it is the comic relief that I am really enjoying amid these like really incredible and fantastical and cuckoo's bananas crazy fight scenes that are really enjoyable to read on the page. And speaking of fight scenes, I wondered why Luffy couldn't like not shrink himself, but like stretch himself out thinner. I don't know. I know he can stretch, but maybe he stays the same width as he stretches. Like he doesn't, I think of something when it stretches, right? It, like a taffy, it gets thinner as you stretch it out, or a piece of gum. Not that you would want to stretch gum, but if you did, it gets thinner as you stretch it out. And I'm wondering if Luffy, as he stretches and has this like gum power, right? I'm wondering if he doesn't get thinner, because there was a part of me that wondered, why didn't you just stretch out of the bars? Or maybe he didn't have enough space to stretch himself thin enough. I wasn't confused. I just had that curiosity. Like, I wonder how his stretching power actually works. So there was that. Here I am talking about stretchy things. By the way, y'all, this is such a pleasure for me to do these deep dives and talk to you all about the nuances of a story. When I review books here, I have to give vague, very vague impressions and ideas, and I really have to boil everything down and tie it all up really kind of neat, because the whole thing is that you don't want to talk about spoilers, especially if I'm talking about a book, just generally to a community. I don't want to talk about spoilers. And here it's the opposite. You all want to hear like detailed and like moment by moment thoughts, and it's more about the theories and how I'm experiencing it, and you want the details. And that is such a pleasure and joy for me, because I've spent several years now on YouTube, and you have to tread very lightly when it comes to talking about details, because you don't want to give anything away. And here I am, I'm talking to an audience that already knows the content super well, and that you want to hear it all. I haven't heard of anybody that they're still like in the thick of reading One Piece. And so here I have the freedom to talk about this story in as great or as little as detail as possible. And it's just given me a breath of fresh air to this whole thing, because to this experience, not just that I'm experiencing manga more or less in earnest for the first or second time in my life, but that I am now experiencing being able to chat about something in immense detail, which I really love, really for the first time, or like I don't grant myself a spoilery version of talking about something very often, but it seems like this is the thing. And so it's just been really like, what a pleasure it's been. And by the way, yes, I am often scattered in my videos. It's just, you get kind of like a stream of consciousness, a bit of a rawness to my videos, and I hope you don't mind. It all comes from a good place and an excited place. So I was wondering why Luffy couldn't stretch through the bars, and then, oh my gosh, we find out that Bougie, I don't know, we find out that the clown, that he has eaten the devil fruit, and that he is all like, he can take himself apart. He can split apart. And I was like, that's a really cool power too. And it was so unexpected, and it was so great and fun and imaginative, and what a cool battle. It's the battle between the man who can take himself apart and put himself back together in all of these like different iterations. Like he often takes his hands off and lets his hands do some fighting while his body stays in like a safe spot. And that was just so cool. So it's the man who can take himself apart. What did they call him? Oh, I forget. Chop Chop Man. Chop Chop. So we have, Gum Gum, and then we have Chop Chop. And that's exactly what he does. It's like he chops himself into these pieces and lets those pieces fly and do battle for him. And so I thought that was just fantastic, amazing, wonderful. And so it's, stretchy boy against, Chop Chop boy, man, male people fighting, and it's amazing. And I just really enjoyed that. And I think possibly my favorite, so I really enjoyed Chow Chow, the little dog, and the lion having their battle. And I just thought it was such a creative, fun battle between the clown and Luffy. I really loved the way that Zoro took pride in that he was fighting for his friends, and that he was also fighting for himself. I thought that was a great moment, but hands down, the deepest moment, I have my iPad here because this is what I read it on. My favorite moment is when Boodle, the mayor, is talking about treasure. And he talks about treasure, and he says that the town he built from nothing, and we get his backstory, that he built the town from nothing. He was a part of the beginning and the origins of the town, and so the town is his treasure. And then what what the clown says is, "You senile old fool, the only treasure here is for termites. Gold and jewels are treasure. Treasure sparkles and makes its possessor a king." And I thought that was surprisingly deep in a way, because I don't think that the mayor is a fool because he finds his treasure a sentimental kind of treasure, a treasure that is worth more than gold and silver and things that sparkle, although those are wonderful treasures. And it really pitted a kind of good versus evil, but in a way that I thought was so much deeper than, than what I would not say normally get, but it was just deeper than I had expected. That here we have the mayor. He has this attachment to the town, his love for the town. He doesn't want to see the town destroyed, and that's what he's fighting for. And it's worth something to his heart. And that is worth more to him than trying to get in and amidst these pirates fighting and trying to steal the clown's treasure and all of that. It's like, just don't destroy this town, please, because that is what matters to me. And then immediately we also see this revealing character for the clown, that in a lot of ways he's a bit shallow. And especially since he is putting down someone's sentimental worth in order to, to sort of maybe justify or take pride in like the things that he's chasing. He calls him a senile old fool for loving a town. And I just don't feel that way. I mean, I've lived enough life that I also have things that are important to me that have actually no monetary worth. And, and so in that way, I felt like I really connected with the mayor in that we hold things dear that maybe others don't understand. And then, you see the clown's sort of shallowness and vapidness, saying that, if you own monetary worth, things of monetary worth like jewels and gold, then, you will be king. I think it makes its possessor a king. And it just revealed a lot about where his priorities were, and what that, and where he's at in life, I think. And I thought that was really fascinating. We definitely get a cyclical moment when we see Shanks being brought up again. Shanks, who gave Luffy the hat and who Luffy was with as a boy when he ate the devil fruit. And then we find out that the clown also ate the devil fruit in the same presence, or like in the same, while he's on the same ship as Shanks, and that they have beef, and that their beef is actually just not quite as, as intense as I would have thought. It's more of like a low-level beef thing going on. And and I thought it was really interesting, or there was a connection that I made that, both the clown and Luffy have eaten the devil fruit while Shanks has been around. And I'm wondering if that's going to be a trend. I'm wondering if there are going to be more people who have eaten the devil fruit because of, or because they were around Shanks. So I don't know. And again, please don't spoil, but I know y'all are like amazing about not spoiling things. So, I appreciate that. And I love Port Town, and I liked Arc 2. And I'm so excited to get into, more One Piece. It's just been so much fun. So much fun. But yeah, that's it. So let me know your thoughts and what you think about Arc 2, and like how you're liking these videos. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for me. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.